Okay, people, we're now in La Posa South in Quartzsite, Arizona. And today I got some chili going for dinner. Went and did laundry this morning, went and got a mail service set up. So trying to get acquainted with the lay of the land. And Doug's already got his mirrors that he got at Tony's changed out at Doug got mirrors from Tony at AAA Bus in Phoenix, replacement mirrors, and he's already got his switched on. So I started taking mine apart, getting them ready to switch out. I don't think it's going to be super complicated, but there is one possibility that I can just take one pin out and leave the brackets on there. But in looking at it, it looks like the pins might be different, so I'm going to take the old one off and see if this one will switch into that other bracket just by removing the pin. The worst case scenario, I got to pull the pin, get the new bracket on there if they're not the same, and then put the mirror in, put the pin back. So let me show you the mirrors here. So this is our mirrors that we currently have, the Rosco brand, and they've been broken since I got it. This housing's been broken. And the other problem is that in doing the conversion, here's where the other one's broken. I've already got it torn loose up there to the point that if the guys come and help me, they can catch it and I can just knock the pin out and that whole thing will come off. But here's the problem. Man, it's hard to film with the sun out here. Here's the problem. You can see I splattered the heck out of that when I was cutting something. Those orange sparks flying in the air. If you're doing a bus and you're throwing orange sparks off a grinder or a slitter disc and it hits glass, it'll ruin it because it actually melts into the glass. Feels like sandpaper now. So that's why I'm changing them. So when I was at Tony's, I told him what I needed. We went looking around. I didn't go looking around, I actually spotted him. I went looking around, spotted him. When we got ready to pull out, I said, hey, I want the mirrors too. I can put those on myself, so they're like no sweat. So here's the replacement mirrors. Just one of them has an issue with the with this front mirror down here. And so between what I've got here that's good and what I've got on the bus that's good, I can swap and come up with a good set of mirrors. So this is the bracket that I'm talking about, and I think I can just pull this pin out and slip this arm back into the bracket on the bus. That's what I'm hoping for. But the bolt is different. I don't know if the hole is different. So I'm figuring out that the old one has to come off. It's hard to get the 4-bolt bracket off with the mirror in place. So it seems like the smartest thing to do right now is just pull the pin on the old one, leave the bracket in place, see if this one will interchange with it, and it's just a matter of slipping a new pin and putting 3 screws to hook the boot back on. That's what I'm hoping for. Let's see how it goes. Basically, I gotta get that thing back. Can you push up on it just a little? There we go. Perfecto. Oh yeah. This is looking promising, Doug. Okay, it should just be careful because it should. There we go. Holy sweet gutter.
Yours is gonna be harder.
Wow, look at that YouTube brass. A brass shim in there. Huh, that's impressive. It's got a little breakaway ball. Oh, it's got a couple of them in it. Interesting. Yeah, this one's got it too. They both have it, but this one, the balls are gone out of it. We're rolling live here at nap time. Tip that way. No, you got to come out that way. There we go. Pick up the back end.
Good thing I was here to tell you that. You would have never figured it out.
Damn it, that's it.
Well,
Thank you.
nap time.
It's nap time.
Oh, we got her now. Let me put the wrench on it.
Everything else gonna have to happen outside. So basically, new strategy today. We took the 4 bolts out instead of trying to leave them, which 2 of them are right behind the rib and on the bulkhead, but lucky those studs stayed and I got them from the outside. So
Uh-oh.
We don't want to hear uh-ohs.
it's those down there. That's what we're tightening up. There's 2 more to the rear. This was a lot faster. An hour instead of 2.
All right.
Or 2.5. I will.
Hey, it's a cookie day.
Shelley's making cookies. So here, when I get these mirrors all straightened around, I'm going to show you guys a few things I learned. Hopefully help you from having troubles, but you want to be careful with this bracket that the little boot screws onto, because there's a right and a left, and I just put the wrong one in upside down, so we got to take it off again. Okay guys, I got my mirrors on. I had a few little bumps in the road. The decision seemed to be whether or not to take out the 4 bolts or to take out the 1 pivot bolt. The first side I tried the pivot bolt, and I'm thinking that was probably the hard way. Anyhow, they look really great. I'll show you. So I thought I'd give you a rundown on what I learned about these mirrors in the process of changing mine out. Might help somebody out, so I'll show you what I learned. So here's the bracket where it bolts right onto the bus. And this little piece right here, it's stuck on with double stick tape, but it can come off. You want to pay attention to that, because I had to take mine off and put it back on with the right one on, because that piece is right and left oriented. So this piece is what this fairing goes forward and screws into once it's installed. And if you put the wrong one on the wrong place, it doesn't work. So I was reading this sticker and I saw it said top, so I put it on like that to the top, but that was top on the rider side. Now in retrospect I can see that said passenger side top. But so don't get your fairing mounting clips screwed up. The first time around I pulled this pin, and that just let that pull out of the socket. The potential problem with that, or it's not really a problem, it's a reality, is there's shims in there. So if you look in here, you can see there's a shim up there. Depending upon how tight it fits, there's 1 or 2 shims on the underneath of it. And then you tighten up that bolt going all the way through it, and it locks it in place. The other thing that I learned was these 3 ball bearings up here, there is a spot for them to line up. So when you take this thing loose, those ball bearings go in those 3 sockets when it goes back in, and that lines it up with the bus. You cannot have it lined up and tighten it up and it won't move, because I did that, but it was sticking out too far. Once I figured out how that worked and I pulled it in, those ball bearings went click, click, click into the things. I think this is basically a breakaway mechanism, but I don't know. But if you do go with the socket way, which I don't know, you have to get all that back in place. It was a bit challenging. Well, here you can see the exposed arm that comes out and over. I assumed that this would be adjustable right here, that you could take it loose and swivel that to your needs, but it's not. It has these 3 bolts up here on the top. These 3 bolts on the top of this, even if you took this nut loose so that it could pivot, these bolts have been put into place to fit my bus, so it was not adjustable. And if you look inside, the holes are not slotted, and those are the studs of the bolts going through. It's not adjustable. Now, the bottom one for the front view mirror, it's got that big nut. I originally thought, hey, maybe I can just take this thing loose and leave the top arm in place and put the bottom in. Not gonna happen with my knowledge. Quite a bit of work. And yeah, you had to take this top fairing off. You'd have to remove that top fairing, get in there. To get to that nut, you have to remove the mirror. So to get to that nut, to loosen it, to do that removal method, you have to pull the mirror, which puts you in danger of breaking exactly what you're trying to fix. Here's the one that I haven't torn apart yet. I still have, well, this mirror's starting to go, but these 2 mirrors are still good. I'm gonna try to show you guys how those come off. If anybody's wondering why did he change the mirrors in the first place, it's because these housings were both cracked across here. Both of my housings, somebody had hit them and they cracked them across the bottom. Now that I've been through the structural aspects of these mirrors, if that is on yours and it doesn't bother you cosmetically, I'd say it's not really bothering anything because of the way everything inside comes through. Okay, let's see if we can get these mirrors off. Because basically they're just yep, so there's an example of why trying to pull your mirror like that might ruin what you're trying to fix. Because there's a snap mechanism in there like this up there that just didn't unsnap when I pulled that out. So anyhow, I've tried to get that out to show you later, but that's a reason to just replace the whole thing with the 4 bolts up there and you're done. So let's see if this one will pop off. Yeah, so there you go. That's how you want it to come off, because now I could just take this mirror and pop it back in another one, assuming I could get the old one off without having it break like that. So let's see if we can get that piece that was supposed to come out. I can't get that out, and I don't need to, so I'm not going to waste any more time on it. So if you were wondering about the motors in there, there you can see them, little gear motors, and they'll tip it right and left and in and out. Yeah, see it move like that and like that. which is why when those are broken, you can still adjust it manually and they stay in place. So that's a great thing. Yeah, so in conclusion, I'm feeling if you got a broken mirror, I don't know, you know, maybe just replace the glass, because you can pop the glass out without taking the thing apart. But other than that, if the housing's broke or the arm's bent and stuff like that, seems like getting a set of used mirrors. Well, you can buy new ones if you want. They were about $1,000 a piece. If you want your little motors and everything to work and your switches are all good, assuming that's all working, and you buy new ones. But I just opted to buy a used pair from Tony at AAA Bus in Phoenix. He had some more there. If you got this type of mirror and you're looking for some, you might give Tony a call. I'll have Shelley put his phone number down in the description. Super awesome guy, and him and Joe are always very helpful. So my mirrors are back on. I just showed you guys all this crap thinking there might be somebody trying to do something that might get some good use out of it. I don't know. I hope so. But mine are happily hanging up there on the bus. I got good glass in all of them. They're where they're supposed to be. I'm feeling good about it. Thanks, Tony and Joe, for helping me with getting the used mirrors. And I hope you guys can find what you need. That you have lots of love and lots of friends to help you with it. So until I see you in the next video, have a great time.